our division here at DuePoint, and we're very lucky because he's got a lot of experience in financial services as well as insurance. His family have been entrenched in insurance his entire life because his father's a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded a host of financial service-based businesses locally as well as overseas, and Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They're both accountants, and they both got into financial services. And Brendan and Stuart founded a business down the road called PMD, Prime Meridian Direct, and that's been a very successful short-term insurance business. We know PMD because they do advertising all the time, right? We see their advertising, billboards, TV, radio all the time. So we're very lucky to have Brendan leading this business. And then we've got Tim Reynolds, got a lot of experience in financial, in corporate banking more particularly. He was with the First Rand Group, where he directly reported to the board of executives as well as the CEO of the First Rand Group. So a very cushy job that he had there, and he heads up our financial, our regulatory, and our auditing aspects in our business. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She was working with Deloitte locally, then she went overseas to Luxembourg and worked there for a while before she came back. Seems like everyone's turning on and off phones today. We take XP off you if your phone rings. Then we have got our two non-accountants, Jane and myself. So Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. And this is fundamental to our business because even though we're an insurance business, we rely on network marketing or referral marketing for any growth in our business. So Jane's experience is very important to us. And then myself, I've got a lot of experience in marketing and advertising. I got into marketing and advertising at an early age, pretty much straight out of school. I studied design. I worked as a creative director most of my life. I started my own digital agency in the late 90s and ran that for nearly 20 years, which was fairly successful. I then exited that business and joined the team here at DuePoint. So when I speak about the business, what I'm actually speaking about is the people involved in the business. And I'm hoping these individuals will also lend credibility to this business presentation. And we very much get involved with the wealth engineers, the people that join our company in this proposed partnership, and you'll get to know us. If you're here for the long term, you'll get to know us long term. We've got some wealth engineers that have been here for over a year, and they know us fairly well already. So our next step is, why are you here? What did the person that invited you here tell you? Were they blatant about it? Did they say to you, are you interested in making more money? Did they say, are you interested in some entrepreneurial opportunity? What was it that brought you to our offices, especially on a public holiday when you could be at home having a nice lunch with your family, relaxing? Maybe there's some sport on TV today, I'm not too sure. Right? I like to understand what the driving behavior is behind entrepreneurial interest. I think, and typically the aspects that we speak about at this point of the presentation are all fairly negative. And these negative aspects of very much driving behavior in terms of people wanting to find out, well, how can I make more money? What can I do to supplement my income? The one aspect is the economy. Anyone happy with the current state of the economy? Dismal, right? I thought it couldn't get any worse, but this week it seems to have gotten worse. They announced last week that technically South Africa is now in a recession. So all through last year when we gave this presentation, we quoted the growth rate of the economy, which was 0.3%, which is nothing to brag about, but has become worse. In the last 6 months, the economy is actually shrinking. So we're technically in a recession at the moment, and then a host of all these other issues that we're dealing with at the moment are just making matters worse. This plays directly into our lives because we see it in the form of unemployment. 9 million people unemployed at the moment. 50% of our workforce is sitting at home, able and willing to work, not doing anything. Can you imagine how frustrating that must be? And does it look like the economy is going to change anytime soon? It isn't. We see it playing out in the form of retrenchment. When we talk about recession, we're talking about the economy that's shrinking, right? Companies are not thriving in South Africa. They're in survival mode. And often when they need to shed costs, it's in the form of jobs. So we see retrenchment happening. And retrenchment affects everybody. I'm married to a labor lawyer, right? She heads up labor litigation for the biggest private employer in the country. She oversees 160,000 staff. And there are retrenchments happening all the time. They're in mining. an industry that's under particular duress, and yesterday it became 10 times worse for the mining industry. And I see the retrenchments that she has to oversee that happens. And when often we see retrenchments happening in businesses, we always think, oh, it's the person at the bottom, the people earning the least that are getting retrenched. But let me tell you, it is everybody. It affects everybody because she's retrenched people that she works with at head office. We're talking about other lawyers, other accountants, professional people with 1 or 2 degrees that are also being retrenched. So my point is that no one is safe from retrenchment at the moment in this current economic climate. And then we talk about something that we actually have control over, because an economy can be quite frustrating because we have no control over it. None of us have the power to change the economy, right? But debt is something that certainly affects our personal finance situation. And it's something that we have control over because no one's forced debt down our throats, right? There were instances where you willingly engaged in the debt. And we're afforded this debt at a very early age. The moment you earn a salary, it got paid into a bank account. And when that happened, a whole bunch of companies and financial service providers said, this is a great potential client. I can trust that they're going to get a salary every month, and therefore they can pay me for my products or services every month. And they'll offer you a host of different products and services. Some take on the form of debt instruments, but there are others that take on the form of investments and savings. Unfortunately, South Africans don't engage much with investments and savings. We don't, on average. We engage with debt instruments mostly. And they take on the form of credit cards and home loans and car loans, educational loans, personal loans, Edgar's accounts, Woolworths accounts, right? A plethora of these different debt instruments. And what we don't realize is that it cripples us for pretty much the majority of our life. Especially things like credit cards. You know, at least the other debt instruments, there's kind of like finality in the end of term, when you paid the house or if you pay the car. But something like a credit card or an Edgar's account has got this revolving credit. It just keeps coming back at you, right? So engage in all these debt instruments, and it's a problem. We get a lot of statistics from the Financial Services Board that paints this picture of what personal finance looks like for the average South African. And it's not a pretty picture. The average South African only starts engaging in financial investments when they're around their 50s. When they're in their 50s. It's far too late, because very close to your 50s is this life event called retirement. And by the way, retirement is exactly the same thing as retrenchment. The net effect is that you don't get a salary at the end of the month. Your employer doesn't have to pay you anymore, right? And so we want to put ourselves in a position that by the time we do get to retirement, we're not in this position where we're suddenly in really big trouble. So here's some data that was published in the Fin24 website late last year. It kind of shows you what responsible retirement planning looks like. This presentation is becoming like a bus stop. So take a look at the 3 columns at the top. They kind of show you if you save a certain amount of money, if you have a cash investment that exists by the time you retire, you'll derive an income out of what you've saved, right? So if you're in the position where you've saved R1 million, you've got R1 million invested somewhere, you can typically derive about 5,000 Rand out of that investment once you're retired. Anyone able to live on 5,000 Rand a month? No, right? So it's not even a realistic solution. Look at the next column, 26,000 Rand, a lot more dignified, I think. I think most of us can get by on 26,000 Rand a month. You needed to have saved 5 million Rand in a cash investment. Anyone currently on track to doing that? You want to get on track? If you're under the age of 25, you can start engaging in responsible retirement planning because you've got time on your side, right? You need to save 4,000 Rand a month for the next 40 years. And that contribution has to increase in line with inflation. So every year currently, that 4,000 Rand has to increase annually by about 7-8%. And then you'll be in the position where you've got 5 million Rand invested and you'll derive 26,000 Rand a month. Can I tell you how many South Africans do this? 2%. 2%. So we've got about 40, 50 people in the room. One of us statistically will get to that position. What about the rest of us? If we're not doing this, we're going to get to that point where you're in your 50s. Maybe you start to panic about your retirement because you realize it's now only 5-10 years away. You start creating some form of investment, and then you get to 58, 59. Maybe your HR manager starts saying, oh, you're heading for retirement, like it's a happy thing. right? And then that day finally arrives. Maybe the office will have a little party for you to send you on your way. And at the end of the month, you'll get your last paycheck. And perhaps by that stage you had derived a decent salary for yourself. Maybe you were getting paid 25,000 Rand, 20,000 Rand a month by the time you get to that stage. But the prospect for the month thereafter is that you don't get a paycheck. You go from 25,000 Rand to zero, and now you're 100% dependent on whatever you did from a retirement planning point of view. But maybe you were able to save R1 million. The R1 million is going to pay you out 5,000 Rand a month. And you're faced with that decision. I've got R1 million. Do I just pull out the whole R1 million? What do? You're probably only going to die when you're about 80, 90 years old. How does the R1 million now suddenly last you 20 years? You're forced to go find new work. You might have to sell your house. Hopefully you've paid that off. Move in with your kids. Move in with family. Ask family for money. It's not a great situation to be in, right? But only 2% of the population is doing this responsibly. So this is not my solution to you. That's a great thing to do. But some of us are not in the position to do it because we're in the debt cycle where we're just trying to survive. When food inflation is at 11%, food is doubling in price every 8 years. Inflation sitting at 8%. The economy is shrinking. Did everyone get an 8% raise in their salary in the last 5 years? That means your salary is actually devalued. Because inflation is sitting at 8%. You need your salary to increase in line with inflation. Otherwise, you're actually getting paid less and less and less every year. And when that starts to happen, when that squeeze starts to happen and you still have debt, the debt becomes more expensive because interest rates go up. We find ourselves that we can't make costs. 50% of people in South Africa that have got debt are under debt review. It means they've missed payments on what they owe for longer than 3 months in a row. 50%, that's half our population. And so what this business presentation is about breaking out of this cycle. Because when you're in the cycle, you have no options. No options. You're just trying to survive, like businesses. We're going to discuss an opportunity to change your future. So out of this, as a business, as an enterprise, we saw the opportunity to create a platform, to create a system. We built a system that does this for the average South African. We have 3 goals for the people that join this business. Number 1 is to see you become debt-free. Completely debt-free. That has to be one of your goals. Because otherwise you'll be one of those people that get to retirement like the 98% of us. The second goal that we have is for our wealth engineers to start engaging in a real investment. Not a home loan that you pay off after 20 years. Real investment that you can build on, contribute to, and work towards 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. And then the third aspiration, we've got 3 goals. The third aspiration is just to see everybody happier. That's why we're here on a public holiday, right? You have the hope of being happier, of being better off after this presentation. Unless the person that invited you only offered you free tea and coffee and then you got ambushed with the presentation afterwards. So that's the hope, to change your financial situation. Brendan will say in his presentations, money is not everything in life. It's about 99% of it, though. We want to fix that 99% of it for you. Okay. So how does this work? Our guests here this morning, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. You actually contract with us. And when you contract with us, we want you to do one thing. And that's to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what one of those look like. And through these channels of distribution, the people that you introduce to us, we will attempt to place product with them. And if we're successful in that, that is how you build your channel of distribution. The benefit for you is that you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. This is obvious, right? The system is not designed to replace your salary. It's there to supplement it. That supplementary income is going to pay your debt off faster than what you're currently doing. The nature of this business allows you to create recurring income. Now, this is an awesome, awesome benefit. Any business that creates recurring income is a great benefit, believe me. Because that's the main reason I left my business. I couldn't create any recurring income in my company. So we would go out and do sales and do production and invoice. And at the end of every month, I'd start at 0 again. 0. The asset I was building wasn't creating any value for me. And most businesses are like this. They are service-based businesses. Insurance companies and other financial institutions actually have this ability to create recurring income. It means that the effort you put into this business in June is not only going to pay you at the end of June, it'll pay you at the end of July, August, September, October. It might even pay you for 20 years ahead, maybe even longer. So you can be in a position in this business that if you create a sustainable channel of distribution, in 5 years' time, you can go on a 6-month holiday and you'll get paid every single month. You'll get retired from your day job and DuePoint will still be paying you up until you're 80, 90 years old. And that's really what we want to do in this business. We get to harness the power of duplication. This is leverage. This is what bosses do. The CEOs do this. They leverage all the staff working for themselves, working for their business, right? Because the CEO's got the same amount of hours in the day as you and I. The difference is leveraging, or she's leveraging, everyone that works for them. So they get the biggest paycheck, the biggest bonus. You get to do the same thing in this business. These channels of distribution that you go out and build, you're actually building teams of people that collaborate with you that will invest time into your business so that your recurring income becomes greater and greater every month going forward. This is a flexi-time business. Now, initially when I did this presentation, I thought this is a great benefit because flexi-time means you can do this business whenever you feel like it. And then over the last couple of years, I've learned, no. Yes, flexi-time is great because you can do it whenever you want. But if you want to be successful in this business, you can't do this business when you have free time. This is not a hobby. This is a business hoping to set you apart from the majority of the population. You need to sacrifice time and book this business into your routine every single week if you want to make this successful. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. I'll tell you that right now. That's the honest truth. I've seen thousands of wealth engineers join this business. Some of them excited at the beginning, and then they just fade away. You have to find out where this business is going to fit in your life. And I understand it means sacrifice. You're going to be sacrificing time with your family, or time watching TV, or time just relaxing, or time on weekends, or your evenings after work. Whatever it looks like for you, it's required to be successful. And there's no way around it. There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees in this business. We don't have boxes of product that you have to buy to get going in this business. Okay? So it's a very low-risk opportunity that we're going to be speaking about. There's no qualifications or experience required on your part. We work in financial services. We are regulated by the FSB, extremely onerous regulation, and everyone that works here has to oblige to that regulation. But we contract you out of it, so you don't have to worry about it. So it becomes accessible to almost everyone in the country. You get to build an asset. Now, this is a very important point, because if I propose to you that I want your spare time, if I propose to you that I want you to sacrifice time in this business, at least know you're building an asset that you have ownership over. What does that mean? It means you can sell it. It means you can pass it on to your kids when you get too old to do the business. It means if something happens to you, you can cede it onto your beneficiaries, and it carries on going. This flies in the face of employment, because all of us work for somebody else, where we spend our lives working for another company, where we've got no ownership, no shareholding, no dividend check every quarter, but we do it anyway. And there's no selling required in this business. You should all be very happy about that. Right? Aren't you happy? No selling? I bet the first question you ask the person that invited you to this presentation, Baba, what's the products? What are we selling in this business? There's no selling. We actually contract you out of selling in this business. The nature of our business being financial means that our products are intangible. Like I said, there are no boxes behind reception. We don't have stock issues. You don't have to bring your uncle's bucky to load stock onto. Don't have to sell it on the weekend. Fight with the husband or wife because you need to put the stock somewhere in the garage. They must park their car outside. Right? We don't have these issues. We make this business as simple and as convenient as possible to engage with. And this is all predicated on you being able to build these things called channels of distribution. And they begin with you. If you're a guest here this afternoon and you become a wealth engineer, that's the start. The next step is to go out and tell people about DuePoint, about the business opportunity. And when you get people interested in that and they join DuePoint and they take one of our products, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. Because these 5 individuals that you introduce to the business want to do exactly the same thing as you. They've got very similar aspirations to you. They also have debt. They also don't have the prospect of having a great retirement. So they go out and do the same thing, and they'll tell people about this business. And so you have this organic growth that takes place in your channel. When we talk about leverage or power duplication, how much effort did it take to introduce the first 5 people into this business? You don't know anyone else. You only know the first 5, yet you're getting paid a recurring income on every single dot that you see on the screen. And next month there'll be a few more dots. This is recurring income. This is power of duplication. This is what your channel of distribution looks like. You'll be forgiven if you arrived here this afternoon thinking, oh, I've been invited to one of these schemes again, these presentations that they ambush you with. All right? I remind you, we're a 70-year-old financial services business. We've been around for a very long time. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We don't smell anything like one of those schemes floating around the country. Very reputable people working in this organization, and we want the same for you. We want you to be proud of the business that you join. At the same time, I'll never promise you that you'll find success in this business quickly, because that doesn't exist in any sphere of life. It doesn't. If someone says to you, oh, I've got this great business, you'll get rich and it's very easy. Are they lying to you? They are lying to you. Do you know how many stories I have here at reception? I joined this scheme, I put 20,000 Rand in and then I lost it. Like, why would you do that? I know this Russian guy on YouTube told me to. Right? All these schemes. It paints a picture of how desperate we are in the economy that we're living in at the moment, where people are willing to do that just to try and get ahead. If you want success in this business, I'm telling you now, it requires frustration. It requires a long-term outlook. There will be frustration. This is a people business. It's frustrating dealing with people, if you haven't noticed. I can't even get on with my immediate family. Now I must get on with all these strangers I bring into the business. Right? So there is that frustration then. But I'll show you later that this platform is proven to be successful, but it requires that work, that commitment, persistence, like anything in life. Okay. So how does the money actually work? Oh my goodness, we're getting a restart story here. So how does this business actually work? We pay you a return based on how many products you have in your channel of distribution. So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every single product in your channel. Okay. Remember the first 5 individuals that you introduced to DuePoint that joined? Those people lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you. You know them personally. On point 1, we pay you actually double the 27.50 Rand. So we pay you 55 Rand for every product every month going forward. Remember, it's recurring income. Point 2, it's the same. These are friends of friends. Point 3, these are people you don't even know. But on point 3, you see the multiplier drops to 27.50 Rand, and it starts to drop the further the products are away from you, all the way down to point 8. At point 8, you're getting paid 4% of that 27.50 Rand. But what's important to note is that we don't limit you to point 8. You can build your channel beyond point 8. We will keep paying you 4% from point 8, in theory, into infinity. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Again, the accountability lies with you. So this is the mechanics of the returns. The next question we get is, well, how much money can I earn after a certain amount of time? Give me an idea. And so the accountants, the clever accountants, built this thing called the path to success. It's built on the premise of a growth formula called 3 + 2. It assumes as a new wealth engineer, you can bring 3 people into the business in your first month. And then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in another 2 people. Right? That's why we call it the 3 + 2 formula. But it's actually 3 + 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 for the rest of your days, right? Into perpetuity. And if you can follow that growth formula, these are the numbers that you can expect. After 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand. No one's impressed by 2,500 Rand, right? I don't see any looks of excitement or not even a smile at 2,500 Rand. You guys must have big debt. Big debt, hey? When you can't even get excited over 2,500 Rand. Someone said to me, there's a point where you get so much debt, you stop worrying about it. It's a good point to get to. It's not, by the way. So let's talk about 2,500 Rand. Is it too much, too little? 6 months of work? 2,500 Rand working for 6 months? It is extra and it is recurring. But let me give you some more context, because everyone in this room has got debt. I know it. I know it. And what do you do with this extra 2,500 rand? What was the first goal that we had for our wealth engineers? An aspiration. Pay your debt off as quickly as possible. So you take the 2,500 rand, and no, you don't buy shoes or a handbag or whatever else, nice lunch. You take the 2,500 and you put it immediately into your debt. So here's an example of an individual with a R1 million bond. It's probably the biggest debt we'll ever incur in life, right? Is buying a house. R1 million bond. Went to the bank, said, I found a nice house, I don't have the money. Can I get a loan? I said, sure, 20 years, current interest rate, you're probably going to pay back 11,500 rand a month for the next 20 years. And you agreed to it. And then you joined DuePoint, and with some success at DuePoint, 6 months later, you're earning 2,500 rand, and you put that 2,500 rand as an additional payment into that bond. The net effect is, instead of taking 20 years to pay that house off, you do it in 11 and a half years. And you think, oh, well, that's okay. How much money does that 2,500 rand save you in repayments? 1 million rand. Doesn't that blow your mind? You bought a R1 million house, and you're telling me 2,500 rand is going to save me the same value of the entire house. And you all turned your noses up at 2,500 rand. Can you see the effect that debt is having on you? You need to make a decision now to change that long-term effect that debt has on you. Because if you just carry on with the salary you're getting, spending it half on debt, half on the cost of living, not having any options beyond what you're getting, you will wait until you're 50 before you pay your house off, before you get out of debt. It's too late. It's too late. After 12 months, you jump to 9,000 rand a month. That's over 100,000 rand annually in recurring income that you created for yourself. Anyone get a 100,000 rand bonus in the last year? Not even one. Oh, I've got a poor audience and they're in debt. Hey? Usually we've got one person. He puts his hand up. I say, no, so don't put your hand up. Everyone's going to come ask you for money after the presentation. After 24 months, nearly 30,000 rand a month. Right? Now it doesn't matter how much money you earn. You can be earning 200,000 rand a month. I tell you, an extra 30,000 rand. Everyone is interested in extra 30,000 rand a month. You keep going. After 36 months, you're on close to 50,000 rand monthly. You want to look at the bond example? Here's an example of a 5 million rand bond. After month 30, you're probably earning about 36,000 rand. Place that as an additional payment into your bond. You'll pay your 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years. In less than 7 years. I'm 40. I turned 40 last year. By 47, I can pay off a 5 million rand house in this example. By the age of 54, I'll pay off my second house, 5 million rand again. Buy a third house. By the time I'm ready to retire at 61, I've paid off 3 houses to the value of 5 million rand. I'm living in the one house. I'm renting out the other 2. I'm getting passive income of what, 60, 70,000 rand a month. Or I sell all the houses and buy one 15 million rand house that's paid off. Guys, these are the options we want you to think about. But if you don't have additional income, you have no options. Right? We're all in the cycle at the moment where we're just trying to survive month to month, year to year. It's the same. I've realized it. It took me 17, nearly 20 years to realize that I'm in the cycle of debt, of doing what everyone else is doing. I don't want it anymore. I've got 20 years to sort this out for myself. Some of us have less time, some of us have more time. But you saw how quickly this business can change your financial situation in a matter of months. After 48 months, you're on close to about 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, you're close to 100,000 rand a month. About R1 million rand in recurring income that you've created for yourself after 60 months. 5 years of 3 plus 2, remember? 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Can you do that for 60 months in a row? I like the enthusiasm. But I see a lot of wealth engineers join this business and they become part of the 0 plus 0 club. It's a big club. It's a big club. And we've got the 3 plus 2 club, and we've got the club that does more than 3 plus 2. Because 3 plus 2 is just an example that I'm showing you. You can do more. Yeah, we've got Denzel. He followed 3 plus 2 at the beginning. So his growth was fairly moderate when he joined. on the 31st of August. By April, he was at 2,500 rand about. Okay, so he was kind of on track, wasn't shooting the lights out. But look what he did in the space of a single month. We interviewed him this week. You're welcome to go look at his interview on YouTube. He says, I didn't really get the business. It took him 6 months to get the business. What he meant by that was he didn't understand the impact that this business could potentially have on his life. And when he realized what he had, he suddenly engaged properly with the business and committed time regularly to the business. And in a single month, he doubled his income. Can that even happen in employment? Can you get 100% raise in employment? Not even if you get the best promotion. Maybe you get 30%, 50% increase if it's the best promotion. 100%. Never. Never. You don't believe me? Monday, go ask your boss for 100% raise. Then you come back to me and tell me what he said to you. Right? We need to start taking control over our finances. We can't sit back and hope the economy is suddenly going to change. We hope we're going to get the promotion. We hope this is going to go better. It's not. It's not. I see most of the audience, we're old enough to know that things don't change like that for us. There's maybe one person out of 1,000 that'll get lucky. The rest of us, we have to work for it. We have to grab it with both hands and do it for ourselves. Nonkobela, she's in East London in the Eastern Cape. The same story. Joined in 2016, March, for a whole year. She sat back. We also interviewed her this week. Go watch her testimony on YouTube. She said, I was doing these schemes. I was involved in these schemes. And she saw one of the lead wealth engineers that introduced her to the business showing all the success that they were having on their Facebook page. And she was friends with this person on the Facebook page. And then a year later, she said, what am I doing? Look at these other people. Look how well they're doing at DuePoint. Let me find out what DuePoint's all about. And she only got engaged at the beginning of the year. And she's made dramatic impact on her financial situation. Went up 1,000 and then more than doubled in a single month. And in employment, we will beg our employers for a 7% raise once a year, just in line with inflation. 7% annually. We need to increase our standards. So, she's here with us today. Joined in the middle of last year. She also went through the frustration of the business. She got stuck in from day one. Let me tell you, this lady put in 40 people on her own in a single month. One person a day. We talk about 3 plus 2. Sosa was doing 40 plus 40. But she went through the frustration. She started to understand the nuances of the business. And she came to me at the end of last year and she said, I've been doing the business all wrong. I'm bringing the wrong people into my business, into my channel. I'm going to start again. And she started again. January, she was pretty much on 3,000 Rand for the most of the end of the year, and then suddenly in January started picking it up and nearly doubled her income since then. And now nearly 20,000 Rand. It is an awesome testimony to see people that deal with the frustration but don't give up. That's what I want to see. I want to see you get frustrated. Come tell me, the system doesn't work. There's no way for me. People aren't listening to me. This one, he said he would be here and then he didn't arrive. But you keep going. That's what I want to see. You keep going, and I'll see you next week. Because business is like this, if you didn't notice. Right? For all of us. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every month that are making this platform work for them. They're engaging with the system, and they've created an additional income stream for themselves. And it doesn't matter. Some of us might just be happy with 1,000 Rand a month. That's enough for us. Some want to do way more. Some want that 1,000,000 Rand annually. But the accountability lies with you. You need to decide that. You need to decide what you want and what you need to invest in this business to get there. Because we've got it mapped out for you. Right? You're not on your own in this business. So that's the returns. The returns, again, is what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. Over and above that, we've got this thing called the XP Rewards Program. Now, the rewards program for us is like an incentive program to incentivize our wealth engineers a little more. It's also kind of a training system for us. But for you guys, it's a rewards program, right? Because when you have success in this business, not only are you getting a return at the end of the month, but you'll get to achieve these rewards that we give you with the success you're having. So when you become a wealth engineer and you start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior, like coming to presentations, bringing guests, logging into the website, watching training, when you do those things, we give you something called XP, experience points. Right? It's got no monetary value. It's just an indication of how active you are as a wealth engineer. And when you start getting more active and collecting more XP, and your business, your channel starts to grow, we reward you along the way. So if you join this afternoon, you'll have the grandiose title of rank 0 wealth engineer. You're still part of the 0+0 club. But very quickly, within 24 hours, you can get to rank 1. Because at rank 1, you only need 1,000 XP and you only need 4 products in your channel. And when you do that, we'll be paying you a return at the end of the month, normally. But through the XP Rewards program, we're going to give you a reward of 55 Rand on top of that return. And when your channel starts to grow and you start gaining more XP, you start to rank up. And when you rank up, the rewards get bigger and better. 100 Rand, 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give our wealth engineers tools that allow them to be more effective in this business. Rank 5, Lightning USB drive. Beautiful little device that plugs into everything. Tablets, phones, laptops, computers, TVs. Doesn't matter if it's Android, Apple, Banana, it plugs into everything. More importantly, we've got our video collateral on there. So it doesn't matter where Patrick and Pumi are, what device they've got on them or their guests have, they can plug that device in and show people what DuePoint's all about. At rank 7, we give you premium luxury business cards. Let me tell you, in the business I've been in, I've never seen anyone with business cards like this. It was actually a joy to be able to design cards like this and actually get them manufactured. They cost us 12,500 Rand a set. You get 1,000 business cards at rank 7. They are gilded in gold on the edges. The logo is foiled in gold. There's no ink that touches this card. The card's 4 times thicker than any other card. It's black. It's got the suede touch to it. When you go out and tell people about DuePoint, they'll never have heard of DuePoint before. They won't know who you're talking about. But when you put out a 12,500 Rand business card, they give you a little more time to explain yourself. Suddenly your credibility goes up because your business card's about 40 times more expensive than the one they've got in their wallet. Right? So these are tools to help you be more effective. At rank 9, this is one everyone gets excited about because this is not a once-off reward. Our rank 9s and above get to enjoy this every single year. Every single year. We've got a gentleman who got to rank 9 in 5 months. You can take as long as you want. Every single person in this room has got the ability to get to rank 9. Take a look at where we're going at the end of this year.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sound where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark
So that was footage of the actual hotel and the part of Mauritius that we're going to in December. Who's coming? All want to come, right? We don't mess around at DuePoint. When we do things properly, we do them properly. So it's an all expenses paid trip, 7 days, business class flights for you and your family every single year going forward. You'll never have to look at your bank balance again before you decide whether you're going to the Val Dam or to Umhlanga Rocks this year. You won't. What a pleasure. You just got to make sure you got those 7 days of leave. You tell your HR manager, I'm going on holiday again. I need 7 days off in December. Make sure you tell them you're flying business class again with your family. And when your HR manager says, I know how much I pay you, what's going on? You give her the 12,500 Rand business card. Okay. Rank 11. What happens at rank 11? We really try to help you on your journey to becoming debt-free. That's Patrick and Pumi. That's the car they got 3 weeks ago. In our parking lot, happened late last month. A car without a debit order at the end of the month. Although we told them they've got to pay for petrol and insurance. We don't cover that. And this is just rank 11, guys. The program goes to rank 20. That's because we could only fit up to rank 20. We have already designed up to rank 28 behind the scenes. This is long term. If you get involved in this business, we're already thinking about 20, 30 years down the line. What do you think rank 28 is going to be? You never know. You've got to get there. But I need our guests to get excited about rank 1. We can all very easily get excited about rank 9. You need to get excited about that 55 Rand. Getting to rank 1 by Monday. Can you get to rank 1 by Monday? 4 people. 4 people in the business. That's it. 1,000 XP. Up to you guys. Another benefit we have for our wealth engineers is something that we call the Wealth Quest. Now, the Wealth Quest is that little pink WQ. It's something that we do every month. It is a challenge that we issue our wealth engineers once a month. And the challenge is different and the reward is different. So this month's challenge is, you're in the army now. The challenge is, if you can rank up in the XP Rewards program during this month, we'll give you 60 gigs of data. That's 10 gigs every month for the next 6 months. And that's the challenge this month. Do you think you can rank up in our XP Rewards program? Go have a look at it. It's on the website under XP Quests. So in May, the Wealth Quest was Young Guns. We challenged our wealth engineers to find two wealth engineers, 2 new people under the age of 30. It was very hard to convince people in their 20s of anything because they know way more than all of us do. So that was the challenge, right? Get 2 people under the age of 30 in and help them get qualified, which means you had to help them get 3 people of their own. And if you did that, the reward was a big screen smart LED TV. We had 9 wealth engineers that did it. And at this morning's presentation at 10 o'clock, we had all those TVs lined up here on the stage, and those people came up and got what they had worked for. They got those televisions. Okay, so we get the question often, how does your business model work? I don't understand how you can do these Mauritius holidays and cars and TVs and pay out returns at the same time, and people try to do the maths in their head very simply and they don't think it works out. I'll explain our business model very simply. That's a traditional business model that most companies engage with. They will do a lot of marketing and advertising to get new clients. DuePoint doesn't do any of that. You won't see our logo outside of this building, because we rely on you to go out and tell people about DuePoint and the opportunity that we have. All right? So instead of spending the billions on marketing and advertising like most insurance companies do, we instead take that portion of our premium that's attributed to marketing and advertising or client acquisition, and we give it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. And that's basically how this business model works. Okay. What are the products? You might be wondering, well, we know we're not doing milkshakes or vitamins. There's no boxes here. What are the products? We've got 3 products. You guys are free to look at 1 or all 3 products. It's up to you. The benefits are all very different. So we have wealth engineers that have all 3 products. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. This is our investment product. It's 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand is contributed towards your tax-free investment fund. So we create an investment fund with Sanlam in your name. 100 Rand goes into that every single month. You can draw it out. It's not a notice or a fixed deposit. You can draw it out at any stage. And then on top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance with this investment product to the value of 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you have this investment and you are killed in a car accident or in whatever accident, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand. Okay, so this is a tax-free investment fund. The second product is an insurance product only. So this is purely insurance. It's called Wealth Guard. It's 274 Rand a month. And this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. So the beauty of our personal accident cover products is that we don't profile you from a risk point of view, right? So it doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you're over the age of 18. You can be 75 years old. You can be diabetic. You can still take out this product. It still only costs you 274. You'll still get the full extent of 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Okay? So that's the insurance product. Product number 3 is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club program. This product aims to save us money on the money we spend every month anyway, right? So for 274, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with the list of companies that you see over there. So I know everyone is spending a fortune on groceries. One of our most popular partners is Shoprite Checkers, because you'll get 2.5% off your entire trolley at Shoprite Checkers. Okay, so we've got varying discounts with every partner. They're all different. Eagle Ford, new partner that we signed on earlier this year, already sold 2 cars through Eagle Ford. And they'll give you the best deal absolutely possible, which is great. So the saving there far outweighs what the premium is on this product. If you're looking for immediate benefit out of any of the products, the Wealth Points program is a great program to look at. So those are the products. If you have any questions, come ask me afterwards. I remind you of the support that you get here. Remember, it's in our interest to see our wealth engineers being effective and successful. Because as a business, we can only be profitable if you guys are being successful in doing what you're doing, right? So in that vein, everything that we do is to support you. We've got the live stream that we do for every event that gets live streamed to the entire country so that you can go out and build channels outside of Johannesburg, right? So we've got thriving businesses all over the country. The facilities are for our wealth engineers. You can do your own presentations here. You can use our boardrooms for meetings. Our breakout rooms are all for you. We've got free Wi-Fi, all for our wealth engineers. Free tea and coffee, if that's what you want to come visit for, that's fine. Brendan and myself will even sit down with your teams and spend an hour with your team strategizing your success in this business. We want to see you successful. So don't become a wealth engineer, disappear, think, oh, I've done a business similar to this in the past. I know how to do it. Why you think you're going to do it better? You aren't. Come get engaged. Lean against us. Okay? That's my point. The decision slide. Bright and orange. Very different to all the other slides. We're at the end of the presentation, guys. What is the decision? I'm more interested in the people that have already made the decision, have thought, well, this sounds like a great opportunity. I might as well get involved. Right? What's the risk? A little bit of time. You can cancel your product at any time. You don't have to be with us. I told you, we don't sign you into any form of contract. What's the risk? Get involved. But more importantly, I want to know what your decision is as to what time are you going to commit to this business. Because that's a decision you have to make on your own. You might have to go home and check with the spouse and say, look, we're going to do this. Let's commit Saturdays or Sundays or the weekends or evenings during the week or Mondays and Tuesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. Whatever it means for you, you need to make that decision. That is part and parcel of being interested in this opportunity. I do not want to see you part of the 0+0 club. Right? I want to see you getting to rank 1. Being proud of the business that you're part of. Getting business cards. Meeting your family in Mauritius. I'd love to have that. When you're doing selfies in business class. Those are proper selfies. Doing selfies here in reception doesn't mean anything. No one's impressed by that. But when you're doing a selfie in business class, that gets people's attention. Okay? This is what I want. Ultimately, what I want is I want to see South Africans empowering themselves. That's really what we want. As a business, I said to you at the beginning of the presentation, it's very frustrating because we have no control over the economy. Let me tell you one thing. When we started this business, it was one of our main aspirations to make significant impact on the economy. As a business, we want to make impact on this economy. And it happens through you guys. And do it for yourselves. Do it for your family. The net effect is not only you having extra money at the end of the month. I promise you the net effect of this business will carry on generations. from where you left it off. So if you have any questions around the business, come speak to me afterwards. I'll answer any questions that you have. We make joining very easy. Get onto our homepage. If you've got a smartphone or a tablet with you, we've got iPads available in the breakout rooms. Jump on the homepage, click on the blue apply button. You'll be a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. That's how quickly. 7 minutes. In the 8th minute, you're phoning a prospect. Rank 1 by Monday. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools to make you more effective, right? So please consider getting business cards. They're on display there. They'll have all your details on them. You get 500 business cards. You've got to look professional. You've got to speak professionally, behave professionally if you want to run your own business. And this is really what we're talking about. So please consider getting those. The USB stick's very convenient because we've got all our videos on the USB stick, and nowadays you can plug them into TVs, give them to people. If they don't want to come to the presentation here, they can watch the video at home or at your house. And we've got a whole host of other things. The pins on the far left there represent people that are qualified wealth engineers. Those are people that are earning money. So when you start earning at DuePoint, get one of those pins. They're 40 Rand. Wear it with pride. Everyone will know you're one of the wealth engineers that aren't part of the 0+0 club. Don't go ask advice from someone who doesn't have a pin on because they're not doing anything yet. Okay? We have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All our videos are on there. Everything that we've done in the last year, go look at it. Our annual conference, the testimonies every single month, the people that have done well, interviews. We've interviewed Dr. Brian Benfield, who's got 50 years of experience in business like this. Go watch the videos. It'll tell you when we're doing live streams and when we upload new videos. When you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app because you can run your business from this little app. It tells you everything that is happening in real time to what's happening in your channel. Guys, I thank you for your time. We're done. I'll speak to you afterwards. Have a wonderful weekend. Rank 1 by Monday.